Hello, hello, my lovelies. Welcome to Level 11 True Crime. Today we're going to do a reaction, or at least I'm going to share my reaction to the information, the alleged conversation. Well, it is Dolly Vision, who has done his very best to verify that this is Daniel's account. But neither Dolly Vision nor myself or anybody is claiming this to be factually Daniel. Just simply that we believe, to the best of our knowledge, that this is Daniel's account. And it's more or less my reaction to what Daniel's saying. I think Dolly did an amazing job. I encourage you to watch the entire content, link pinned down below. And with that getting said, Lily and Jack need to be found. Lily is 6 years old. Jack is only 4. They're missing from Lansdowne, Nova Scotia. Last seen on May 1st by others, reported missing on May 2nd. So time has passed. Now, Daniel is the stepfather of the children, or the common law marriage between him and the mother, Malaya. A lot of things are alleged here. Everything is alleged. We have no facts, even if it is Daniel saying it. We really have no proof that anything he's sharing is actually factual at all. So take everything with a pinch of salt, right? And with that, let's go ahead and get started.
Dogs ain't missing. Meadow's not missing. Malaya was asleep. Daniel's awake, and these kids magically vanish, and he instantly runs out to their cabins for 30 seconds and then comes back in. I don't know. I'm a little suspicious of that. And then we got all the family infighting with each other. Cousins fighting with Daniel's mother, and we got people allegedly that, I'm going to say allegedly because we don't know. We have no way to verify, saying they're family members and that there's some fighting going on, and Malaya wanted to leave Daniel. Now, we can't verify that. Okay, right now this is just speculation because people have been calling in the show saying things, and some people believe that person's legit, and some people believe that person's a troll.
So right here, you can see that Daniel just wrote, and I put a larger version, if you will, up here. So I'm trying to highlight it. If Dolly isn't pinning it because he's busy talking to Daniel, then I'm trying to grab a copy of what's said. So Daniel is saying your facts are wrong right off the bat. That's what Daniel says. And let's see, we go ahead and head over here. Then Daniel's going to be talking about Malaya was traumatized by bio dad. Now, at this time when it's said, because this is the first time that Daniel refers to this. Again, everything's alleged, allegedly Daniel, right? Here we go. So when Daniel says this, I think we all thought bio dad meaning Malaya's dad. And I think that Dolly interprets it the same way I do. But later, Daniel qualifies that he's saying Malaya's afraid of Lily and Jack's dad. So now I get why it's the bio dad that he says. But let's go ahead and listen to this.
So, but she also said after that point, things changed. Well, not at first. Everything was good. She thought they were going to change, and they didn't. Everything was good. She kept coming around, bringing the baby around. Anytime they wanted to see the kids, Malaya was bringing them around. And then we know that Malaya has been living with Daniel for 2 years. So in the last 19 months, something has changed. She stopped bringing the kids over to the biological grandmother, which seems like a wonderful woman. I like her fish pond. Okay, I need to clean mine out. I haven't used it in a while, and I kind of let it overgrow. But I need to clean my fish pond. It reminded me of that. Okay, and I like her fish pond and her little hummingbird things. And she looks like a really nice woman, right?
So right there, it should have kind of keyed us up that Daniel is referring to the bio dad, meaning Lily and Jack's dad, because Dolly is speaking about the bio dad of Lily and Jack's mother and her fish pond and the interview that she did. So my reaction to that is, if he's had nothing to do with the children, why is she afraid of him now? Like, has she always been afraid of him? Is it just throwing it in for conversation? Or is something changed that we don't know about? I'm not quite sure yet. Let's continue.
She has any reason to lie, and she says, everything was,
Now, Dolly is again referring to the bio dad's mother, so the grandmother of Lilly and Jack Sullivan.
Not the cleanest. And she couldn't believe it because, she knows Malaya was with her son for 3 years, okay, and went her own way. She was with Daniel for 3 years and went her own way. I think she may have the 3 year syndrome, right? With 3 years, bitch, I'm out, okay? I'm only doing 3 and I got parole. I'm skipping town, right? I mean, I don't know. It seems like after about 3 years of these dudes, she's burnt out. And,
And right here, you can see with the bio dad for 5 years. So for sure, Daniel is saying, he is alleging that Malaya is afraid of Lilly and Jack's bio dad. That's interesting. And he's also making the correction that Malaya was with the bio dad for not 3 years, but 5 years. So now we're seeing more. As we continue, he's trying to get Dolly's attention and he's like, spam this guy for me, tell him the chat. And he says, spam the chat so he knows it's me, that I'm here, right? So he knows. And Daniel says, spam him again. I do have to kind of crack up because Dolly had no idea that it was actually Daniel Martell, the stepdad. And so this was his reaction, which cracked me up.
spam him, okay? Don't spam me because if you spam me, you will get kicked, okay? Yes, Dolly. Is there something important going on in the chat that I missed? Open lines. Daniel wants to talk. Is it? How do we know it's Daniel?
Good question.
Okay, let's open this. I'll open the phone lines. Let's do it.
Okay. So that was a great question. How does Dolly know, or any of us, that it is actually Daniel, right? So he goes ahead and, wait a minute, I think it's this one. Let's see.
Spam him, okay? Don't spam.
Nope, it's the next one. All right. So Daniel won't come on to the phone call. Dolly tries, like he opens up the phone lines and he does his best, but Daniel agrees to answer questions in the chat. And
I'm trying to make sure this is him.
so this is a good thing. Dolly did really good in making sure that the account belongs to Daniel. Now, as Dolly tells you, we can't assure that Daniel's account wasn't hacked, but the information that comes out is quite shocking. And this account that allegedly belongs to Daniel isn't the only one that is sharing information allegedly that Malaya has taken the baby and left her mother's, which is against CPS protocol. All right. But let's make sure that this is Daniel's account. So we have to trust Dolly, which, like I said, I do.
Or if it's somebody that just created an account, you know how that goes. There's a lot of people that troll.
Indeed.
Okay, here he is. Let's see. Channel activity. Go to channel. No, it's him. It's him. He's in the room. Okay. Yeah, Daniel, call in. Clear some of this stuff up for us because you're right. In the interview, you said people are suspicious of you. And I can tell you now, I'm a little suspicious of you. You know, it's just some of the things you said and the time frame that you had. And if this blanket is out there, why hasn't this information came out?
And I think that's a brilliant question. We do all have a lot of questions. Now, Daniel indeed answers quite a few of these questions, if it's him, right? And he says, I'll break the internet right now. Malaya's on the run from police right now. This is what Daniel's alleged account is saying in chat.
Okay.
That's shocking.
Shouldn't attack me. I've been fully investigated and my family. Well, you got to understand, Daniel, that the situation, people are just trying to fill in the blanks. And when there's open questions, when there's blanks, people speculate, right? Now, I've never said that you've done anything. Never. Now, have I said I'm suspicious of you? Absolutely. I'm suspicious of you and Malaya, right? And I think a lot of the internet are.
I agree. And we're not saying anybody's guilty. We're saying that in the true crime genre, we tend to look at those that are closest and most significant to the missing person, highly suspicious. And until they're ruled out, we don't take them off the whodunit list, right? That's just part of true crime. And I totally agree with Dolly here. Let's go ahead and scoot ahead to where you can see it come up in the actual chat, because that's what I wanted to share with you. I think it's at the end. It must have been hard for Dolly to keep up, but he did it. But right here it says, I'll break the internet right now. Malaya's on the run from police right now. So he's continuing to push this out. She has metal and is on the run. And like I said, he's not the only one saying this. There are alleged family members that are coming on calls, one earlier than this live with Dolly, but also with Dolly. And it's allegedly the cousin of Malaya that told this whole scenario ahead of time, before this. Now, if this is Daniel, he is saying that he knows that guy, and Daniel's the one that alerted the police that Malaya had left, allegedly.
Going through postpartum depression, like a lot of people are speculating that she's been depressed. Was y'all on the rocks and she was trying to get out? Because there's a lot of people alleging a lot of things, and I guess the more you come out and speak and clear up the relationship of what's going on,
true,
I think the more information we got, the less we have to speculate. That's what I'm trying to say.
So right here, Daniel says, she's in too deep, bro. Read the damn chat. He's trying to get Dolly to read the chat, but nobody understands how difficult it is to be a creator. Dolly wasn't prepared for this interview, and he did an incredible, amazing job asking very important questions. So hats off to Dolly.
She's in too deep. Oh God, this chat is moving so fast.
And that's also,
she's in too deep, bro.
He's got over 1,000 people in chat, and chat's flying, and that's not easy to do. And to be on a live and have this sprung on you, Dolly did a good job. I really believe that.
The damn chat, right? Well, I got the phone line open. You're more than welcome to call. I miss stuff in the chat. I don't know if you ever watch my channel, but I hardly ever read what's in the chat.
So then, this is where Daniel alleges that she broke, meaning Malaya, that she broke CPS protocol and now metal is at risk of being taken. She is supposed to have 24/7 visitation. But a lot of you are asking if that's true. If Malaya put the baby Meadow in a car and left, wouldn't there be an Amber Alert? Because it's getting late and I haven't seen an Amber Alert. Though we did have a new breakthrough today in the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case, that now the province of Novascotia is offering $150,000 for a reward if you can help them find Lilly and Jack Sullivan. So that's really good.
On the run.
That is crazy, because that's what the other caller said. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And okay.
He he doesn't want to call. He doesn't want to call in. I can understand.
Right here. If you watch down in here, this will actually show you the actual chat. Dolly did amazing. I grabbed it up here, and that way you could see it. But there's that statement by Daniel.
Okay.
He says, I'm going to break the internet right now.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to pin everything he says so I don't miss anything. Okay.
Yeah,
I appreciate,
that's what I did. That's how I was checking it.
I appreciate.
Okay. So he starts pinning the comments, but let's go ahead and listen.
So that dude has to be kin to Malaya. That's exactly what he said. And how did he know he took off? He said he was cousins with Patty or somebody. Supervised protocol is broken by CPS. Okay, I'm just gonna go through and pin his comments. I'm sorry I missed your stuff. Like I said, I usually wear glasses and I'm a little far away from the screen. So we heard this earlier today. I thought it was just, I didn't know if it was a troll or what. But the person called in and said, yeah, Malaya left her mom's house. She has Meadow. She's broke CPS orders.
And was claiming to be the cousin of Malaya.
Why? That guy is 100% truth. Okay. All right.
So
damn. Okay. I was thinking he was telling the truth. I was like, because, he seemed to know things, and he seemed to be pretty much on your side. I mean, he said that you was a good guy. He said that you didn't do drugs. He said that, you know, Malaya is his
Right here, you can see Daniel said, I know him.
family, but there's things going on in the family that he really can't say because family members were going to get mad at him. And Dolly, stop yapping and stop telling the truth. Well, stop posting shit so I can see what he says. Okay, how about that?
I love Dolly. All right, so indeed, things are heating up, and Dolly asked, was y'all fighting or something? And Daniel's answer is no, we weren't fighting, no fight. Also, he claims that everything that the man said on the call on the previous live on Dolly, again, go check out Dolly Vision. He's doing a fantastic job. And you can see the previous live where this alleged cousin calls in and says all this. And Daniel's saying all true.
Truth. Okay, Daniel, let me ask you this. When you was there, you were there. Is there any way Malaya could have had anything to do with this? Is there a time frame where she could have did something with these kids and you not know? Because the way you say it, it sounds like you was awake and she was asleep. But you would know if she's doing these things. You would know if she did something with the kids. Yes.
He says yes, right down here. There is a time that she could have been doing something, and he's about to explain it. Now keep in mind, this is completely different than he's ever said before, which makes me very suspicious. It makes me wonder why the story would change. Because Malaya said it was her that didn't hear the children. She said to her partner, Daniel, do you hear the children? He said no. They got up and looked. Daniel now is claiming, and I don't know what to believe, but he's saying a completely different story. So
there is a time that she would have been awake. That okay.
He's saying, yeah, there's a time she was awake.
Let me ask you this. Was y'all fighting prior to this? I hate to meddle into your relationship, but I'm just trying to understand why she would act these ways. Was y'all having any domestic disputes between the time that, no fight? Huh.
So let's find out, what is this time that Malaya would have had? Daniel's saying, I think I woke up when Malaya got back into bed. And he's going to say that he was out of it for 20 minutes before that.
When you woke up, you said Malaya was beside you. How long had you slept when you laid down? Okay, because she had woke up, got up, done something, laid back down in the bed with you is pretty much my question.
Excellent question. And that's where he is saying, I think I woke up when Malaya got back into bed. And he's saying maybe laid down for 20 minutes.
And why did Lilly come into the room? People were asking.
Something's off here. The story's just slightly different. Now Malaya's getting back into the bed, and that's waking Daniel up. So was that when she called into the school, maybe? Was it much earlier? Because we're still not getting a time. Like, did this happen, like, if he was asleep for 20 minutes, is she doing that 6:17 and 6:18 call to the school saying the kids aren't coming? And then as she crawls into bed, it's waking him up. So it was right at about 6:20. Or is this much later? Because Daniel's saying he got up after this and started looking. They did that around 8 o'clock. So I'm confused. How could he have nodded off for only 20 minutes around the 8 o'clock time? And now Malaya's just coming back to bed. I'm not understanding that. Okay. Let's continue. There was something I just saw from Daniel. Let's watch it. Daniel says, investigators are going to be paused at me already for this. Why are they going to be mad at you for this? You're not talking about the investigation. That's strange. Okay, let's see what this one is. So Daniel is explaining a little bit more about that timeline. Kids marked absent from school at 6:17 and 6:18 a.m. had the emails from the school. He said that in the other, the Canada
To you,
interviews.
it is him. I can pull
With it's a criming shame.
it up and show it to you guys that it's him. What account that it goes to? I just did it.
Yeah, you
Right
can
here is his
verify.
account. This is the account that it leaked back to. That screen name. Give me 1 second, because every time I do that, I can't see the chat. Here's his account that it linked to, and this is the one that is him giving his, his reviews of Pokemon. And we knew this was his account anyway.
Yeah,
So
it does look like his account. I mean, there's no reason to believe that it's not at this point. Daniel's saying, I'm going to take heat for this. RCMP will be on my back for talking about your missing children. But I thought you were just told not to talk about the evidence.
terrible.
And you haven't really told us anything.
I'm going to take heat for this. RCM will be on my back.
If that baby's missing, your baby is missing. Nobody going to be mad at you for getting the public aware that your baby is missing. I don't get this. Where's the Amber Alert if this is true?
I can understand that, Daniel. Listen, we don't want to get you in no trouble, right? But we just feel like
coming through, we should
you're holding
know.
back a little bit, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Dolly does a good job of being one of the guys with Daniel and encourage him to talk and keep answering questions. And we all appreciate that. Now, it is interesting how Dolly uses his own past relationship with his baby mama and how they argued and fought to kind of get a sense of bonding a little bit to get Daniel to open up. And he does wonderful with that. And he kind of approaches Daniel as that, to say, hey, how are we going to handle it if Malaya really did take off with the baby? She's going to go up the river, or if she really did something to these kids, how are you going to handle it if Malaya goes to prison? And this is when he's relating back to Dolly, and he's saying her family hates me. Dolly's saying, oh, I know the feeling, my mother-in-law and I, ex-mother-in-law, she hated me. And he's saying same. Daniel's saying the first time that he dated, the very first date with Malaya, that he got interrogated by the mom, right?
Possible to go back to what it was. But I just don't know if that's going to happen, right? And I know
But now look at this too. This is interesting because Daniel is saying he doesn't want Malaya back. He wants the baby Meadow back. So I pray that is true right now, because you're not going to get Malaya back. But that also provides him wanting Meadow back so bad. You have to take everything being shared here with a grain of salt until we get verification that it's true. Because if he does want the baby back, would he go online to throw her under the bus yet again, and make false claims? I'm not sure. Is Daniel telling the truth? I don't know. His story changed yet again this time. Let's go ahead and listen to this.
possible to go back to what it was. But I just don't know if that's going to happen, right? And I know you're battling with the mother. I called her today. She heard my voice. She hung up.
Oh,
Wow. And listen, 3 years, Daniel, 3 years. This one, and you have a daughter with her, right? 16, 19-month-old daughter. I'm not quite sure.
18 months, I believe.
How can she just do you like this, right? Is there something she's accusing you of? I ain't saying that you've done it, but is there something that she's accusing you of? This, why all of a sudden is a mother that bad where the mother just hates your ass? Let me tell you this. My baby's mama, she hated me, right? My baby mama, that woman hated my guts. Her name's Donna. The first day she met me, she was mean to me.
He says
like,
her
never
family
liked me,
hates me.
just thought I was a piece of shit for no reason, right? So I know how the mama can be. My baby's mama I thought my baby mama was crazy. Her mama was even crazier, okay? So let me tell you this. I know about the crazy mother-in-law
Same,
firsthand.
says Daniel.
There's somewhere in the puzzle we're missing some pieces, though.
I agree. Daniel says, I got interrogated.
I got interrogated first date.
Yeah.
I think I got insulted the first time I visit my baby's mom.
He just said, by the mom. All right. So it's still for Daniel a lot about the relationship with her. My problem is I haven't heard one bit of concern for Lilly or Jack's well-being. It's all been about Daniel, and I understand why it would be about Meadow, but why isn't it at all about Lilly or Jack? Now, Daniel is alleging that CPS was told a lot of BS by Malea's family. He's also stating he has a CPS appointment tomorrow, and he's wondering what they're going to say now about Malea not being supervised. So he is truly under the impression, from everything I can see, that Malea has taken Meadow and is on the run. Now the question is, could Malea simply be with her own mother and they're on an appointment to talk to the lawyer or something? How does Daniel know, or how does this cousin know, how does anybody know that Malea actually is on the run with the baby? I hope we get some answers, because so far I'm not hearing really anything that tells me.
Yeah, you have a CPS appointment tomorrow. What they're going to say now about Malea not being supervised. I mean, Father's Day just passed. You know, you're not able to see your child. I know you said you was looking forward to having those supervised visits. And here's the thing. I know the internet has speculated that you're guilty. Okay. I'm suspicious of you, right? But there's no proof that you did anything. None.
True. Right?
I don't understand why you would have to have supervised visitations. That's just as much your child as Malea's. You haven't been arrested. Okay. You can listen. I'm suspicious of shit, right? That don't mean that I don't have my rights to do. You know, I ain't been convicted. I ain't been arrested for nothing, and neither have you.
Good point.
To do this to you, right? And allegedly you ain't done nothing. This is all because of Malea just leaving and taking the kid. I can understand if the police may have been accusing you of something, but the police haven't been even accused you of anything. Just the internet, okay? And listen, Daniel, nothing personal against you. The internet accuses everybody.
So right there he says CPS was told BS from her family. So I would like to know what they told. And is it true? Now, right here, Daniel's claiming that Malea knows everything. If he doesn't know himself, how can she know everything? That statement's extremely weak. For me, in my opinion. How can you assume that the other parent knows everything if you don't know what really happened to the kids? So you would almost have to know everything yourself to know if the other person knew it or not. And they were together. Let's listen to what context it's stated in.
Odd. He said that caller was true.
So he just says Malea knows everything.
Dolly.
Sally, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that it's possible that, okay, so the cousin of Daniel, she said that the mother of Malea,
Logan, right? Daniel's cousin.
was very possessive and controlling.
Uh-huh.
So do you think that it's possible that, okay, say the grandmother drove up, the kids were outside, and she was like, hey, they were like, oh, it's grandma, and got in the car with grandma, and grandma took
Logan is right, Daniel says.
them off and maybe hid them?
Well, I mean, statistically, most abductions are not by somebody that's familiar with the family or family, statistically, you know?
Yeah,
and of course, kids are going to more likely go with somebody that they know, you know?
Well, and who closed the damn slider? These kids always leave it open, according to Daniel. That slider is closed. That would almost mean an adult closed the slider.
But Daniel said in the beginning that the kids would talk to anybody and go with anybody, which is a little odd, right? You know, because we teach kids stranger danger and stuff like that. So I don't know. But yeah, most likely, usually when there's a kidnapping that does occur, it's either parental, which means, you know, a mother or father, or it's somebody that is familiar with the family. which could be like,
wrong.
Yeah.
even in Elizabeth
Not
Smart,
wrong.
it was the lawn care person the dad had hired. He
Yeah.
went into the house and kidnapped Elizabeth Smart. It's usually something like that occurs. So, but
Right.
in this with Daniel, we have a lot of confusion going on inside the family, right? So could it be
Most
family related? I mean, yeah, I mean, it's possible. But let's hear from
likely.
Daniel, and I appreciate you calling in.
He says,
Okay.
it's not abduction, that's criminal investigation. It's missing person case. I don't know. It looks kind of like a criminal investigation to me, but what do I know? So Daniel is going to say here again, making a claim again. We don't know 1,000% that this is Daniel. Dolly is stating that this account belongs to Daniel from everything he's seen. So remember, this is just what we're sharing. It doesn't mean that this is fact, nor even if it's Daniel, doesn't mean that he's telling us the truth. Okay? He's saying, bro, Malaya's on the run from RCMP. What don't you get, bro?
And Lilly, and she's in fear of the RCMP, and she's ran out of fear. That's sad and stupid for Malaya to do. I think she's definitely making the situation worse. That's for sure. That's the right question, Dolly. Okay, I got you guys.
That's scary.
I mean, the only reason I can think of she would want to run is she has some knowledge of what's going down, and she believes that the police are closing in on her. And
or if she believed the baby was in danger.
She wants to get the hell out of Dodge. And if she is running,
he said something here. Yes, she's terrified. Investigations are close. How does he know that she's terrified? He's had no contact with her, right? That's just an assumption. There's a lot of assumptions here, truly. And I'm just not comfortable that he is projecting, if you will, in my opinion.
Lilly, and she's in fear of the RCMP, and she's ran out of fear.
Where's the Amber Alert? It's now 10:21 at night. This has been, 5 hours, more than that, since Malaya allegedly run. I've done a check, and I'm not seeing no Amber Alert yet.
Sad and stupid for Malaya to do. I think she's definitely making the situation worse.
All right, let's look at this next one here. Daniel again making that claim that he does everything for the kids. Now, Daniel makes this claim that the kids are alive, and he says polygraph exam questions were all on death. Everyone passed. But then later in this same interview, he says that Malaya's family has yet to take the polygraph, that's coming up very soon. So it's a contradiction within the same hour and a half conversation on the live. So if he suspects Malaya has done something and she hasn't taken her polygraph, but then I heard him say that she did take her polygraph on something else. I don't know. It's just getting me so confused as to who took their poly and who didn't. And I would just love if the RCMP would just come out and say, these people took their polygraphs, they didn't pass, but they're not going to, of course.
Polygraph, and the polygraph was on the deaf, everyone passed. So he believes the children are alive. Okay, well, I'll be honest with you, that is great to hear.
It is great to hear in the sense that, there's hope that the children are alive for Daniel. And that's what I would hope to hear from a parent that I would expect to be more innocent. Those parents that we see in true crime cases that jump to the narrative within a day or even just a few days that their child is passed over already are shocking, because in most cases, if the parents truly are proven to be innocent, they're the ones that are absolutely sure that the child's alive, even though all odds are against that. So it's a good sign that Daniel thinks
This is hypothetical.
that the children are alive.
Would she have any reason to hide the kids? Right? Like, I know there's the baby daddy, but he don't seem to be involved in the kid's life. And it seems like you've been there and potty trained these kids and done so much for these kids. Is there a reason that she would possibly hide these kids for some other reason?
That's an excellent question. Let's see what he says. He says, I did everything for the kids.
Because he says that everybody passed the polygraph on the kids not being deceased. So that's how he knows the kids are alive.
But again, he's going to say that Malaya's side of the family still has to take their polygraph test in just a few minutes. So I don't get that.
Okay, if it is a troll, it is somebody trolling from Daniel's account, right? I have his account pulled up right here, guys. It is him. Okay.
Okay. So Daniel goes on to say that Malaya put the kids on the back burner after Meadow was born. And like I said, not once yet have we had any form of concern if Lily and Jack are okay. It's almost as if the only thing he said is they're alive because everybody passed the polygraph. But what condition are they in? And if Malaya's family hasn't taken the polygraph, then how do you draw that conclusion?
But this is the invite link. Okay, and this brings you up here live with me. I mean, if you want to show your face.
Right here, Malaya put kids on the back burner after Meadow was born.
You're more than welcome to show your face. If you don't want to, I don't want to force you to do anything or get you in any trouble. We're glad.
Dolly tried to get him to come up on the live and just call in, and he wouldn't. So that does draw a little suspicion for me that Daniel, if it was Daniel, he didn't want to put his voice to it because then he couldn't backtrack and say, oh, I was hacked, right? Or has he been hacked? And if he'd been hacked, would the person stick to the same story and continue to throw Malaya under the bus? I don't know. But you feel me? Like he won't put his voice on there. I found that really, really strange. I don't know why he wouldn't put his voice on there. That's just so strange. Okay, so let's continue.
And you gotta think about it. The history of it, the channel is every case we've talked about, except for Maddie Soto.
Right there. So Dolly had just basically covered that we had the miracle with little Clara Bell yesterday to remain hopeful. When Daniel says a miracle happened today, you said, man, my daughter is missing now too. So that was kind of heartbreaking. Right here, he says it over here. That's very heartbreaking.
Miracles happened today, you said. Man, my daughter is missing.
But where is the Amber Alert if this is true?
Now too. I pray to God. You know, if this is a situation where these kids are in danger, that's the biggest concern.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if she's hidden the kids and it's just going to take a little time to figure out what's going on, is totally different. And you're right, your daughter's missing, and hopefully they track her down. So,
yeah.
And you got to think about it.
Okay. So it is very concerning that, you know, we don't know what this
Ollie.
is.
Dolly.
Yeah.
Man,
What's up, Matt?
I just want to talk to this Daniel fellow for a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Daniel, the more you talk, the faster those kids are going to be found.
Yes.
The more the more you let the RCMP and the investigators shut your mouth, I don't know how that's going to help anything.
Yeah. I mean, if they're out there, we need to get the word out so people start looking for these kids.
All right. Daniel says she told RCMP she felt safe with me, then 5 minutes in the ambulance for a private conversation with her mother after the first briefing with commanders and operators. Commander of operations. Malaya was a different person.
Yeah.
And where, if we had some clues to where.
The RMT period, he just said that she told RNCP she'd feel safe with me. And I know it was 5 minutes in the ambulance for a private conversation with her mother. And I remember that after talking to her mother for 5 minutes.
Same story Daniel's been saying, right? Again, he's saying he's going to take a lot of heat tomorrow from major crimes tomorrow. Why? He hasn't shown or shared, I should say. He hasn't shown anything. And he certainly hasn't revealed anything other than the baby is missing. Is he lying and that's why he's going to get in a lot of trouble?
So if they're not saying,
Is this a stunt Daniel's pulling? Why would he be in trouble with the operations unless he's providing false information? Then I could see where he could get in trouble.
Yeah.
this is where it gets a little sketchy. And if these kids have disappeared, how do we know, like he said, that he's worried about that Meadow don't disappear?
I get that.
You know, they may find her and Meadow not be with her.
Is Daniel overreacting? Like I said, did Malia just simply go visit her lawyer or a family member and take the baby? And how does Daniel know that the supervising grandmother, Malia's mom, isn't with her?
Well, when the pressure starts mounting on the
She couldn't stay around me because she would crack. I would find out. That's interesting. Would you know if your ex or if your partner was lying just by looking at him or listening to him? Do you feel that you know your partner good enough to know when they're lying? I don't know. A lot of people have been lied to by their family members, even their husbands and their wives. And then when they find out that they're leading double lives or that they're being cheated on, they're in shock. So I get how the guys think that you would know, including Daniel saying that, allegedly. But I'm not so sure because some people can lie right at you and look you dead in the eye. And that stinks.
oh yeah, what if she does something stupid? I mean, really stupid.
Okay, Daniel's saying she couldn't stay around me because she would crack and I would find out.
That's why she left. Daniel's saying that's why she left. Is because, you know, he would find out just by knowing her. Let's see. Did I duplicate a slide? I'm not sure.
Meadow was a dime in her eyes.
Well, I pray if for some reason that Meadow is in jeopardy in any way, that means something. She seems very protective of that baby, right? I would be too if my children were missing. I'm not just taking up for her. I'm just saying, where's the Amber Alert? I'm saying one way or another, these people were together when these children went missing. Are there mind games going on between the two of them, or are they both playing mind games with all of us, including playing mind games with the RMCP? Why would Daniel be in trouble for sharing information that's true, especially if it's not affecting the investigation? That's a good point by Dolly's guest. He makes no sense, Daniel. You gave her an alibi. Don't trust anyone with changing stories. The truth doesn't change. I agree.
Lady, let the media know, let everybody know. I think truly that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, the
She's
more you
in
stop
deep,
Daniel,
says
better
Daniel.
it's going to be for those kids.
I told investigator if she loses Meadow, she will commit. Oh my God.
So again, a reference to her fragile mental state. Is he doing that to paint her in such a poor lighting just to get Meadow taken from her so he has that baby or he has more access to the baby? Or is he seriously concerned for Meadow? Is it a little both? Oh, this case is driving me crazy. I just want Lilly and Jack found. Again, where is the concern for Lilly and Jack in this whole thing? Other than he's like, they're alive. Everybody passed their lie detector test. They're polys. However, he's about to tell us in a little bit that Malia's family hasn't even passed a lie detector test. It's just, I'm trying to seriously understand this. And there's so much more to go through. So with that, my lovelies, we're going to do this as part 1, and I have part 2 coming up right behind this one. Go ahead, look in the pinned comment below if you would like to carry on with me. It's free to you. And yeah, let's continue with my reaction to what Daniel is saying in his Daniel is saying in his alleged interview with Dolly Vision. And I love you to the moon and back. I pray for the safe return of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Bye for now. See you again very, very soon.